So it is time that the market react. You saw the post yesterday talking about 21 and 28 days of consolidation, which we went through in detail. But now you see some of these. XLM before the recent breakout, I was arguing a break of this 21 moving average is about to pick up some momentum. A huge shift in the equation is the words which I used. Why? Because Bitcoin dominance was arguing that it may break to the downside. So I posted this 14 hours ago saying I think in 2 days it's going to break to the downside. So Bitcoin dominance breaking lower means all coins going crazy. But then within 10 hours of that post, we saw this breaking to the downside. Now what? From here, what should we be expecting? Let's break that down. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We've been going through the market, we've been trying to publish as much charts as possible, looking through a lot of different assets, and now here you are, you have it. But in the market, there are variations. There is a lot of different structures forming. Whether you take a 4-hour chart, a 12-hour chart, a 3-day chart, it's all happening right now. In our case, we are looking at the XRP chart right now and putting in the argument, are we breaking back higher? Because we are now forming a bull flag, confirming all these movements. It looks good. It looks very interesting because it has been already that dead zone mark for XRP, which we really wanted to see, that 28 days. Remember, we went back in time for XRP chart into the past, last 5 years, 10 years, and ended up measuring all these consolidations, in between here, in between here, in between here. And we saw that 21 and 28 days, it was a golden zone for XRP holders after each pump. So if that history is about to repeat, you are going to watch your next leg take off. Now, you can stay conservative, say the fib actually works well, and look for somewhat a movement like this. But what I would like to reassure you is that fib does not work all the time on long-term goals. Short-term, it does work. Long-term, it doesn't. So you can plot it on short-term movements and it works kind of very well. But on a long-term chart, it kind of slows down. So you need to now understand where you are looking for a short-term target and where you are looking for a long-term target. Because at some point, the market gives you a clarity. This is that clarity I'm talking about. You're at the all-time highs. Now this is XRP and its market cap. So watch. Now you are up here showing that I broke above. I'm now pushing back to the upside. So this range of previous resistance from last 7 years is now acting as a support. So a bounce off from here should be what? We talked about all those measured moves. We are not repeating them, but you already know we're expecting something decent. We're not talking about small numbers here. We are literally talking about big numbers. And remember, even half of that measured move from the current price of XRP kind of goes through the target for a lot of us because we are conservative investors. But if you are in the market, have proper exit strategy which extend towards the optimistic targets as well. That helps to scale out in a decent manner. Now, you go into the other segment of the market, which is like the entire market is working, not a lot of assets are showing you negative divergence in the whole scheme of things. But there are some assets showing you the negative divergence right now. Fine. So now we are back here talking about this. Remember, back in the day when we were here at the bottom, we argued that is a zone from 2013. Why wouldn't we bounce off from there? We did bounce. Yeah. So that was June, July 2024. And if you already watched that video, you already know what we are talking about. Now, what next? Yeah. This is what I'm saying. The measured moves here are wild for XRP. This is a 30x measured move on the Bitcoin dominance. So either we are seeing all the other coins, they're going down or they're not doing much, but XRP is popping. So you get to see the dominance at 30x. But now, let's be conservative as well. Let's not just say that's the actual measured move. Let's look at the medium term measured move as well. That extends for a 10x. I mean, you're going back to what? 2017 equation. Now ask this to yourself. If XRP needs to reach the 2017 equation, what should you be watching? Bitcoin either going down or doing barely anything, and then XRP moving up. Now that's possible. Now this is not just XRP to Bitcoin. This is about the altcoin market as well. This is the dominance. So if this is happening, you're watching payments asset going nuts, and those with negative divergence. I repeat, negative divergence on a weekly. If you see 15 assets in one segment, large cap, small cap, everything together, showing you a negative divergence, there is something wrong. Fine. Now, let's go into Ether for a second. This is to give you guys a bit more clarity so you know where we are going with this. This is the dominance for Ether. You just saw the XRP dominance breaking to the upside, whereas what you're watching with Ether is not the same. Okay, fine. So what the hell are we really watching? Because if you go on a monthly, it's showing you enormous selling pressure, money moving out. On the Ether chart, you're watching the negative divergence. So what really is happening? Yes, utility is kicking in. But when the market goes up, there are projects on Ether, layer 2, layer 3 as well, which has a decent utility. So the price action is not going to go to zero. It's just going to be overtaken by assets which has a lot of value. So now you just saw the XRP dominance going up while the Bitcoin dominance slowing down, while the Ether dominance slowing down. So say we were right. Yeah, you go look back at time and all the discussions which we had, and now you understand something with clarity. All those movements were in place, and that's why I say 1,500 members in the Scientific Investor family has been taking a ton of value. Look at just the last 24 hours. We had this thought process saying, yeah, what? If that's true, next 48 hours is going to be healthy. We may, like when we say we may develop a negative divergence, understand the basics. To develop a negative divergence, the price should go sky high and the RSI should not. Yeah, even at that point, you're talking about a 5x, which is like $8 to $10. Perfect. Did we move? Yes, we did. Look at XLM. Did we move? Yes, we did. And that's all in 14 hours. Now look at the Bitcoin dominance. So these kind of charts are being posted there on a regular basis so that you don't miss what's happening in different segments. Say if it is one asset, you can actually see this. If it is two assets which you have in your portfolio, you got that here. If it is a list of assets, now you're in trouble, but not in the SI family. You get to see all of those charts being posted here. So one by one, you'll get them. So to join that party, use the link in the description below. It's getting so congested. A lot of tiers are sold out. One-on-one sessions are getting so hot. The booking, the season, everything is hot. Now, think, why is that? because this is that time the majority is starting to enter. But at my end, I can feel something. This is just the initial quarter of that big phase of bull market. As soon as XRP breaks the all-time highs, I think this is going to be that time where XRP will be attracting a lot more people into the market. Right now, you go back in and look at all the discussions which we had. What was that? We went into the market short term and told you they will have to push the price back up so that retail enters the market. And when they enter the market, what's going to happen? Yeah, whales will sell it off. Now look at last 30 days for XRP. Look at last 90 days for XRP. Now you get to relate to something. What? The surge is again going back up, which is a perfect thing. Why? You had the local peak in November, and now in Jan you're going back up. How can you relate this to the past? How can you make sense of this? You look at last 12 months and you're like, whoa, we touched a new high. We're making a higher low. What does that mean? Yeah, I know it's technicals, but stay with me. Now you go back 4-5 years. This run-up has been so big, you cannot literally understand anything in the past. So what we'll have to do is to remove this range. Now, what are we going to do? We'll actually go to 2024. Okay, now enter those timing correctly. And now what you're watching is this. Yeah, from 2014 towards 2024 November. Now, what are you watching? It's going up parabolically. Fine. Now, if you go back into 2021, you can make some sense of this, of what's happening in the market compared to the previous one. So again, you are now going back to what? 2021, 2022 segment. And you're like, okay, fine. So there has been a lot of fluctuations. The first local peak, it was a decent move in the price action, but the price still continued to go up when these new people came back in. Fine. Now, again, you can push this back into 2021 to cut off 2022 from that. And look at this. The first run to the upside, yeah, that was decent. But again, next one was even bigger. So yes, the first one will look bigger, but what you need to understand is this. That first leg up, the bigger one, it looks monstrous for XRP. And does it actually make a lot of sense? You go into XRP long-term chart. I mean, you go back as long as possible. And now you watch. What the hell is the volume showing you? We never saw this volume for the last 2-3 years. And you go back in the buying side of the equation, you kind of never had that amount of buying power. So someone, for some reason, is buying this asset like crazy, and the volume kind of shows you. The Google Trends kind of shows you. So ideally, the price action is going to appreciate a lot more. Are you trying to scale out? Are you trying to rotate back in and run out? So all of these depends on your risk tolerance. Now, after all these times, 7 years of holding, I would say, I don't have that amount of risk tolerance to take profit and jump back in at a lower rate. Now, if it makes a perfect sense and a perfect support, yes, that can be fine. But if not, there is going to be a lot of trouble. Why? You zoom in to a 4-hour chart and you're going to get the answer. Short-term fluctuation here looks really crazy. This is a whale market right now. I just showed you the volume so you understand what they are doing. The market is now controlled exactly by the whales because we have an enormous amount of volume. So if the pattern breaks higher, it's okay. We kind of get to lead this to the other direction. If not, if it breaks to the downside, your measured move come back down 1.7, 1.8. So wait for that clarity. Remember, each assets show you a different sign. Now here you are in XLM showing I'm breaking higher. But watch, even with such a breakout with decent volume, the RSI didn't enter the overbought territory. So I'm like, whoa, what the hell is happening? Are we missing something, right? So we run to the weekly, 3-day, cross-analyzing things. And here we are, it's like 3 days telling you, I'm going to do a divergence. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just my speculation, not in the charts. Yeah. While looking at the current data points with last 8 years of what I've seen in the market, probability for me shows this is the bull flag, which may be most likely extending this to another 6x, plotting towards $3 or just above that in XLM I'm talking, XLM, not XRP. So you can imagine what XRP is about to do while XLM does this. Yeah, fine. Now, at that time, the RSI should develop a negative divergence in my humble opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but watch what the price action may actually do. Because if it is going to do this, the measured move from the bottom for such a huge move in XLM is 40x. I mean, that's not small. Yeah, such a medium to large cap asset doing a 40x fluctuation is huge. Now think about what XRP is going to do. Now it's 5x of what this price is in here in XLM. So say XRP is going to do the same and XLM is going to reach $3. That's $15 for XRP. So 12.15 is still a good conservative target. Yeah, optimistic goes well above that. For right now, we focus on the market, we stay humble and understand your portfolio is growing. I know I see that across the spectrum, and watching this family grow is perfect. Now, yes, not everyone has the same size of portfolio, but I can say in 1,500 members, I saw around 26, 27 people hitting that $1 million mark, and I'm so happy. Now, understand one thing. If you're here in the market, follow the macro. If your portfolio is too small, yeah, you can try doing leverage. Or if your portfolio is too big, fine, take 1% and trade. But your majority, as we've been saying here, as I've been explaining for years, long-term bags should be long-term bags. Don't touch that. If you want to start a new trading bag, you take a percentage, maybe 5, and then start it. But this thing, the long-term, keep it away. You only bring it back to the internet to take profits. Have 3, 4, 5 wallets, keep it safe, but understand one thing, don't gamble with your long-term bags. I've seen few people doing that and they are in trouble. Now the market is going up and they are crazy. They don't know what to do, but there is no answers. If you sell XRP or XLM and go buy Terra Luna or go buy FTX, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It just shows you the level of risk you're willing to take, but do you really have the risk-taking ability to that level? Most of us don't, especially me, I don't. So one of the primary reasons I've been following the negative divergence in here is to make sure this list of 1,500 people, they know which of these assets in their portfolio is getting smashed. Now, once I finish this Ask for TA and post all the charts with divergences, I'm going to go in to the next step, which I think is very important. What is that? Remember the XRP to Bitcoin chart we did before? It had some arguments in it. And that is working perfectly. Look at that. A bounce off from the overbought region. Why do you think that's happening? Yeah, and it relates directly with the XRP dominance. So similarly, now going towards that altcoin to Bitcoin chart is going to give you an idea how high that shit is about to go. If that shows it can go higher, 3, 4, 5x against Bitcoin, you're going to watch something monstrous in those assets in US dollar terms. But if it shows the opposite, you have trouble. Yeah, we'll have to say, mayday, that's going down soon. But we don't know when that's coming. So while we wait, understand the fundamentals from the charts. If the long term looks bullish, fine, I'm sitting back, I'm relaxed. If there is a negative divergence, I'm not for that particular asset. So for me, weekly divergence, get the hell out. Yeah. And if that weekly divergence gets erased with a bullish divergence, fine, that was the whales turning upside down. So we wait for the right time and re-enter. But usually that's a 35 to 50% drop. Unless that happens, you're not re-entering in such assets. The assets without negative divergence, just write that. Yeah, there's a lot of questions I'm trying to answer, but I know this is that time you have a ton of questions. But believe me, discipline and patience, that's all that you need. Till this point, you had the patience and perseverance to go through this troubling market. Right now, your portfolio is going up, not down. That's when you need discipline. I mean, exceptional amount of discipline. You saw your portfolio at 100,000. If you're watching it at a million or above, you need a ton more patience. I've seen all the screenshots you sent me. Dan, I started with 80, now hit a million. Dan, I started with 120, I hit 2 million. I'm like, wow, that's life-changing numbers for a lot of different people. I saw people started with 250, now getting close to 3. That's perfect. But what's important? It's just a number on your screen if you don't take profits. If you hit 5, if you hit 10, remember, it's time for you to skim some profits. If you don't, someone else in the market will, and the price will slow down on you when you're about to sell. You need buyers when you're about to sell. So use those new buyers coming into the market, which is this thing, when it is reversing on a short term. Don't get mistaken. Now, I'm not that fundamental researcher going into these threads. Rather, I'm giving you what the chart suggests and how you can use the real information. What is it? When new people come in, they flush money in. Yeah, it's bad for them, but we'll have to sell on them. When do we sell? The negative divergence part gives you all of that. You can go into a 3-day, you can go into a weekly, depending upon how fast of a trader or an investor you are. But I would argue, wait for a daily, 3-day, and a weekly to show you a negative divergence. That's where you get the out. Don't ask the second question to the market. It's the best thing. We're following that. And as soon as I see those negative divergence, I'm posting it. Boom, boom, boom. You guys get that in the Scientific Investor family. So if you haven't smashed that like button yet, my throat is paining. Please do that for me. And if you haven't joined the Scientific Investor family to get these updates at the right time, in a month or two, you'll think it's late and you'll regret. Rather than that, use the opportunity right now, which you have. Not all slots are open. It's close. It's like, a lot of people getting in. But for anyone who is willing to enter the best tiers for your portfolio right now, maybe that's the best choice you can make. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.